Oh my God, that's like 18 hours.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
I think they took the car out and burned it. I don't think they tried to save it.
You know, with the mileage on this as well, it's brand new. But like in less than maybe 9 months, we already have 40,000 on it, maybe more.
Yeah, it's our pleasure to go meet those cigar shops owners and to meet their clients.
Absolutely. Great way to travel.
Yeah, exactly.
Run out of air.
Just the rental car companies are so hard on you. No smoking, no smoking.
Oh no, you can't. You have to own it to smoke in it.
Exactly.
You know,
the way back in the days when I did it, that wasn't the case. But yeah, you can't do that anymore.
That's right.
It's the other way around.
Speaking of cars, first of all, welcome everybody. Welcome at the Light 'em Up Lounge. Welcome live. I feel like we should probably call this a special feature of cars and cigars, or cigar makers and cars joining us live here at Light 'em Up.
Reinhard, you look like you're on a motorcycle.
My God, you were breaking up. I didn't hear you properly, but in any case,
your motorcycle jacket on.
Yeah. Well,
sounds like you have a motorcycle jacket on.
Let's not get too fancy and crazy here. I made it back to Vienna, so I just arrived yesterday, and finally a bit of fresh air and home air here after a crazy tour of the United States. I hope that you all had a blast last week with Christian. Literally, I was in the plane whilst the show was ongoing. So I believe this was the first time that I, despite all efforts, couldn't make it. But I've heard you had a good time, and Christian shared some good wine infos and inputs. But back to regular schedule, back to the usual surroundings, back to inspiring conversations and great guests. So I'm delighted to have Bill and Gus from Artesano del Tobacco joining us today, talking a bit about their journey with premium cigars, their retail experience now on the brand owner and manufacturer side. We can probably talk a little bit about the PCA, which is now in the books, and we'll do a special feature on PCA recap together with the guys from How About That Cigar next week. But I'm sure Billy and Gus, you also want to share some of your thoughts and insights. So without further ado, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for your continued love and support. And most importantly, Billy, Gus, welcome to Light 'em Up.
Thank you so much for having us, guys. Thank you so much. It's our pleasure.
Thank you, Reinhard and Mike and everybody who came today. We are so excited to be here, and we cannot wait to smoke virtually with you guys, and hopefully we could meet in person and continue the conversation and smoke of different brands that our company trying to produce.
Speaking of, Billy, Gus, I'm sure that many of our viewers are familiar with your work and with Artesano del Tobacco, or some of your cigars like the Viva la Vida line, which I'm about to light up in just a second. El Pulpo, which got quite a bit of attention recently as well. But we have a global audience. We have people joining us from Asia, the Middle East, Africa, Europe, the US, Central and South America. So for the two people watching who are not familiar with Artesano del Tobacco, give us a little bit of the inside baseball and how you guys started in the industry, because before you were a brand owner, you had retail experience and worked the other side of the industry. So share with us a little bit of what got you excited about cigars in the first place and made you consider entering that industry above any else.
Sure. Definitely. I'll start with the retail part of it, guys. Like we come from retail. Almost 27 years. We started in the late 80s, early 90s. This is when we opened our cigar in shops in New York. That was 1992, to be exact, 1992. Mm-hmm. And it was a nice long journey. We loved the trade. We smoked cigars. We enjoyed a lot of friendship We created a lot of friendship and friends along the way. 27 years are not too tiny, not too shabby either. We were able to meet so many different kinds of people along the spectrum, from politicians to you name it. We love the trade, as I said. It was a nice journey that we took all those years. I learned a great deal of like how to smoke a cigar, and from how to smoke a cigar to how to blend a cigar at the end. So all over those years that we were in retail, the education that I got myself, I'm talking about myself, it was a great deal. There's no college, there's no school, there's nothing will teach you what I learned from being with the public, with those guys as well. It was an educational time that I will never forget, and I will cherish every second of it. And every time I walk into a cigar lounge or I walk into a cigar shop, that memory comes, and it makes me feel very, very special and connect me with the cigar owners, the cigar shop owners, with the people as well. I will never give it a second chance, like to do something else. I've been doing this for that long. Before that, before the cigar shops, I did something else, but I never liked it the way I did what we did with the cigar in New York.
Yeah, so basically for me, retail was the foundation and the knowledge that I needed to be in this industry. We created 2 stores in New York. They were called the New York Cigar Inn, and we learned tremendous, as Gus said. We learned what the customer likes. We learned what's the best way to do service at those cigar lounges. It was very important to learn from our clients the cigars that they like, to give them a great experience and great service. It's so important to enjoy what you're doing. It's so important to understand that you are doing it not for you, you're doing it for the great good of everybody else who come in to your store and try to enjoy his cigar. It's the lounge wasn't mine in figurative speech. It was for the clients. Any cigar lounge is successful because they cater their business toward the clients, toward the consumer. We wanted the best for our customers. We wanted the best experience for them. And I think we did what we can to produce that type of service on those cigar shops. And we truly enjoyed it. We enjoy people. We enjoy talking to clients and seeing how those clients, they become friends, and they become close friends, and you become to know their problems and their happiness and their good environment that they're trying, or their goals, or what they're trying to achieve. So it taught us about service. It taught us about tobacco. It taught us what makes a good cigar, and what blends, and what flavors, and what the market has been looking for all these years. And so it was a great journey that we are so grateful for it.
Wonderful words, and I'm completely with you. I mean, me coming from the hospitality background, I completely understand, and I feel exactly what you had sensed ever since you started that journey. Did you consider yourselves more like hospitality operators, if I may ask? Because it very much feels that way, and less so the retail or the business and economical side of things.
You see, it does have a lot of a hospitality thing to it. Like, you have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to also like the fact that you're dealing with the public on a daily basis, minute to minute, hour to hour. And it becomes a very personal thing that you have a special touch to it, where the clients, or they, at the end, they become very close friends. They trust you from what you recommend for them, what to smoke and what not to do. So this is like, it has to do a great deal with hospitality. Like, you know, any retail business, any business that have to do with clients and dealing with them on a face-to-face type of thing, where you have to interact with them. To us, we took it very, very seriously, close to heart, and we make sure that we send that message that we're here to tell you the honest truth. Whatever you want, we're here to help, and please listen to us. That's exactly what we did.
Correct.
Now that experience working the retail front obviously is crucial, in particular when you want to create a brand that is successful in today's challenging business environment. And God knows there's plenty of cigar brands out there. And you know, every other day, every week, a new one seems to be popping up. It was great to see the buzz, the vibe, the energy at the trade show. In general, there's a lot of excitement around cigars. Sales were strong throughout the pandemic and ever since. But people come from different backgrounds and inspirations, which I love about the industry. But there's a few people in the industry who come from the cigar retail side, and I always felt that adds tremendous value to the way they approach their business, because they're not just dreaming up certain things and stuff that they want to create as a cigar manufacturer or brand owner, but you truly understand what the customer is looking for, what type of experience they want to have when they see all these filled shelves of the humidor. And you also crucially understand how to stand out from that large shelf or all these aisles filled with cigars that people can choose from. So how would you describe some of the influences and some of these key flavors and aromas that you took from the retail side and then implemented them into the way you created Artesano del Tobacco and your brands?
What a great question.
That's a great question,
yes.
Reinhard. It gave us, as we said in the beginning, it was a great learning experience owning cigar shops. So when we start creating our own brands, we put ourselves, first of all, in the consumer position on why he's going to select my cigar to smoke first. And second, we put ourselves in the cigar lounge owner of why he's going to buy our cigars to put it on the shelf. So there was those two elements in our mind that they were one of the toughest questions and to deal with. So when we come to the consumer is looking for something totally unique, totally refreshing. It's not like copy and paste. The consumer right now is so knowledgeable about tobacco. They know more than a lot of manufacturers, honestly, like, because they smoke so many. The manufacturer produces certain brand and they know about their tobacco A to Z, but the consumer knows different brands, different companies. They could tell you A to Z. They are what you call it, tobacco geeks, that they are so into it, and you need to come and satisfy their knowledge and their what they're looking for in terms of flavors, in terms of shapes and shades and colors and mixture of different tobacco. So this is one part, which is the consumer, and then you have the other part, which is the cigar store lounges. Is you need to convince him why your cigar is worthy to put on the shelf, and that's another challenge that we find when we produce any cigar, right? So if you put yourself on those two positions, I think you will have a successful business, because you are thinking more of the consumer and you're thinking more about the cigar store lounges. I don't want my cigars to sit on the shelf and collect dust, right? I want them to sell. And we need also, first, you need to create something unique. You need to create something great, something new, right? And then the second step is to have the cigar store owners believe in your product, not by, he's my friend or whatever. Like, the cigar has to have legs, we say. So the store owner believe in the product, smoked it, loved it, and that's the relationship and that I need in any cigar shop, is to believe in my product before he sell it, right? Once you have that, then the second step, he will go and introduce it to his client, and then the cigar has to need legs to carry on and keep the stuff from, then no matter how good the cigar is, if the cigar store owner does not believe in it, it's gonna collect dust on the shelf.
True.
Right?
True. As well, Reinhard, listen, I have to add this as well. The knowledge, I go back to the first sentence I said, the knowledge we created to ourselves from being retailers gave us the ability to understand one thing. A seasoned palate is the only thing that will teach us how to blend a cigar that's worthy to be in the market, in the industry, on the shelves, where people will be able to enjoy and say, this is a good cigar. Now, we learn from our clients. We dedicate our success to all those people who were with us for the last 27, 30 years, almost 30 years. They are the one who guided us without themselves knowing. We used all their knowledge. Yes, as my brother said, you have great manufacturers, you have great brand names. They're like hundreds of years, and they know a lot of things. A seasoned palate is so hard to find back then. Now there is so many educated cigar smokers who enjoy cigars, and they know exactly each and every tone, note, the smell, the aroma. I learn from them. Every day I meet something else, something new, somebody new. I learn from them.
Yeah.
And this is how I educate myself. So I always thank those people who actually have a huge impact on this industry. That's what I have to say.
Great points, and I'm completely with you. In the beginning, though, how did you think you could differentiate the cigars that you wanted to offer to the market? What were some of the key attributes where you thought these are certain things that we can tweak in order to be different, and, as you said, worthy to be considered a feasible option when people walk into the humidor and make that pick with their hard-earned cash?
Very good question, Ryan. Again, if you're gonna go and make a cigar just based on strength, strong, mild, medium, you're not gonna go anywhere. If you're gonna come and you're gonna create some cigar that has coffee notes or chocolate or espresso or hazelnut or whatever notes that you're looking for, you're not gonna go anywhere. What's gonna help you is what cigar that I smoked left an impact in me and made me go and buy another one. those cigars, to me, first, is the key on going and making a blend, not similar, but what made that cigar help me or attract
Remember.
me to buy it first. Then, did I buy it again? Right? So, did I buy a box? Did I buy a few? Right? So, those brands are your tools first. And then you begin to think about strength. Second, you begin to think about flavors. And third, which is the most critical, is knowing consumer and knowing what the market is looking for today, not yesterday or tomorrow, right? And the only way you do it is by going in your car like this, going to cigar shops, paying attention to every customer that you meet. And they tell you their story, they tell you what flavors they're looking for, they tell you what brands they're good for them, and why they like their cigar. We always ask these questions no matter where we are. We're going to sell cigars. We're going to meet a cigar store owner. Once we finish the meeting, we sit down and we talk to people in the lounge, and we collect all this information, and we see what's missing from the market, and we try to target that market.
Now, you put quite a bit of emphasis to start with on the aromas and the flavors, and without a doubt, the cigar has to deliver, and it needs to offer a pleasurable experience, complex aromas, enjoyable aromas, and yet there's so many other factors that play into this equation, because people might have their favorites, right? People might be smoking Padrones, Fuentes, and they probably have been for 25, 30 years. And then you have the wide variety of quote unquote boutique brands and newer entries into the market. And they all try to differentiate themselves through one or a few elements here and there. Packaging plays into that. Just in your experience, what were some of those key takeaways from consumers that were light bulb moments for you, where you felt like, this is a golden nugget, that piece of information or that question the customer has had, or something he was missing when he was walking into the shop, that could be crucial in the way that we build our brand?
You see, let me add this one. This is another great question. You have, like, you reminded me as if like you've been in retail yourself, all those things. Like, we studied the market as we were like in those shops day in, day out, for a reason. So every time I sell a certain brand, I'm not gonna mention names here because they're all great, and I see this moving faster than the other one, I have to ask the question, I have to study and analyze the reasons, because first of all, like being a retailer in New York, it's one of the most expensive businesses to run. A shop will cost you $40,000 in rent alone, and then taxes, this, that, the other. So you have to move the product. You have to move things daily. You have to find a way where the stuff on the shelf will move every day, so you'll be able to pay your overheads. So what happened here? We end up studying the market to see, why the strength of this is not like versus the strength of this, why the flavors of this is like not that one. So we came out with this analysis after years and years of studying that. We found out 80% of the consumers who smoke cigars, they like medium to full. No spice, no harshness, medium to full. Then the rest, which is 20% left, you have people who like flavored, people who like very spicy, and people who like light to medium. So our focus was on creating a blend that has to do with a medium to full. Now, we found a way where we have to put our cigars at, our blends, and then from there we start working on what are the flavors that's needed, that's acquired. What I like is one thing, but the mass is the most important part, that when I do something, I have to please those people, not me. I know what I like, but I have to study their palates. I have to know exactly what drives them toward coming to my shop and asking me my opinion about what to smoke today. To me, that is the most important, the ultimate.
Again, let me add another thing. Also, Ryan, um, people like in the 90s, the biggest brands, number one brands, cigar number one of the year, they were all Dominican. Palate wanted Dominican tobacco. In the 2000, things changed. It became more Nicaraguan tobacco that is dominant for people flavors, people's palate. And maybe within a few years, it's going to be Honduran tobacco that is going to be the star of number one cigars of the year and what people are looking for.
There's like with everything, you're going through trends and waves and certain modes, right? Like with fashion.
Correct. Like fashion, exactly. So tobacco, flavors, it's like fashion. It's a trend. Every 10 years it changes. And you have to be aware of this. You have to acknowledge it. And you have to go with the flow, as they say. And this is first step. Second step is knowing what flavors are missing in the market. And those flavors, I've been smoking for a long time. Gus, same. We have a panel of 4 or 5 people that have been smoking with us. Any blend we work on, there is certain notes we're looking for that if 80% of us could figure that flavor, that's the blend is gonna be successful in our portfolio. We don't go to the 100%. We stay in the 80 because it's extremely tough to have 7 people have the same palate. So all of us are different. And this is second point is flavors and palate. How it worked. Is there any smooth, creamy, no aftertaste, no bite? And to begin with, we work with one of the best manufacturers like AJ Fernandez. They have a great deal of aged tobacco. We don't go to AJ and say, what do you have already made and let's put a band on it. Our projects take long time. Viva La Vida took close to 6 years to come to market. Al Pulpo took 5 years to come to market, right? So it takes long time. First, we choose the tobacco that he already have. It's been aged for a certain amount of years, but it still need aging. And the way AJ works with his tobacco is he ages and he ferment tobacco individually. So you get the wrapper, filler, binder, and by the time we reach the rolling point or blending the tobacco, it's the last step. And so we start with a great tobacco, aged and fermented, and then we blend it, and it comes to the market after X amount of years.
Now, based on a few comments that you made and a few points you mentioned, like a connoisseur who has developed a certain palate and understanding of tasting and enjoying cigars in the first place. Also, I think that the way you described the percentages of people and what they enjoy, would you consider Artesano del Tobacco, and it kind of it's in the name already, to be more geared towards the experienced and well-seasoned cigar smoker? Because especially when you talk about that medium to full category with a lot of richness and lots of different nuances, like I'm experiencing here with the Club 500, I think you already focus on a certain segment of the market where you have a lot of experience and you have people who already developed their palate and have been enjoying cigars for a certain while. Is that the case? Is that an accurate assumption?
See, we are for the whole. You know, we worked on the 80, and as we go along, I'm talking about the 80%. I want to grab more of the left 20. They are not left. We're trying to be there and educate them to come to our side as well. It's not a war. It's something that I would love to invite more of the 20% that's left there to bring them into my side, even though I'm not in retail now. But every time we go into those retail shops, when we meet people, immediately we ask them those questions. Your palate, how long you've been smoking, what do you like, what do you prefer? So we try to analyze it in a very short period of time, and we try, when we're there for half an hour, try to educate them and also give them some of our product so they could actually have the experience with us. So we are on the road, and we doing this. We're trying also in the pipeline. There's other things that's happening that will be talked about when the time is right. It's gearing toward different clienteles as well. So that's for the next time when we talk about what we have.
And you also mentioned your collaboration with Abdel and working with AJ, who has become incredibly successful and who has an extensive array of tobaccos to choose from, an incredible operation. How did you come to the conclusion that Abdel and AJ Fernandez would be your partner of choice?
Sure, that's a great question, Reinhard. Same thing. We come and we when we create a blend, right? We think of what brands caught our attention and why, right? So when we came to make Viva La Vida, which is the first cigar, we thought to ourselves, what was one manufacturer that we fell in love with their tobacco and why? And AJ was one of them, and AJ was unique. His blends at that time, they were refreshing, totally different than anybody. He wasn't copying anybody. It was his own style. And that was our way of choosing him than other manufacturer. And second, we created a nice relationship with AJ when he came to the market. We were still in retail, and we started selling his cigars like before people knew who was AJ. So AJ is a really loyal. He has a loyalty personality. If you treated him right from day one, he will never forget, and he will do the same thing when you need him. So we took his brands, we sold his brands tremendously without knowing that he's going to be a superstar, right? And because we believed in his product, we were selling it like crazy because we enjoyed it ourselves, and we wanted people to enjoy the same experience that we are getting from his product. So it was easy sale for us, and it was really great way to decide to go to AJ to produce our brands.
You see, the product with AJ, as you know, and I'm going to add to this, is like you go to a huge supermarket and it's filled with nothing but the best. And what we look in ourselves for, we find it, and we go, we need this, 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 and then this is when the magic starts, and this is when the experienced people at AJ, from AJ all the way down the streamline, they put things together, and this is what they end up creating, which is like something very, very unique. So this is one of the reasons when we start doing things with Abdel and we found what they stand for. That's on a business level. Personal as well, we consider him a very close person to our business, and we respect that. He respects this, and this is how we have a very close, respectful relationship when it comes to this.
Excellent point. And Macy in the comments here at the lounge just made a comment as well that it's hard to imagine that there was a day when nobody knew of the name AJ Fernandez, right? And it wasn't that long ago. I mean, Abdel has truly skyrocketed and has become such a stellar success story in just the last few decades. But hard to imagine that he has become such a giant and such an icon in the industry in such a short period of time. Speaking of hard choices, with your retail experience, I can only imagine you have become double and triple and quadruple picky in the way you select the partners to carry your brand as well. How did you approach that in the first place?
We that's an amazing question, Ryan. You're like as if you're sitting in our mind, uh, bringing
No,
those
I was just touring the US,
Every
ideas.
question
visiting
is
lounges,
amazing.
visiting
Amazing,
retailers, and I mean, as you probably know, I love this industry so much, and this kind of inside baseball is what's so valuable, I think, because it helps everybody to understand the intricacies of the industry and some of the mechanics of how these things work. So I so much appreciate you having such a wide experience in the industry from many different angles. So, you know,
Thank you.
kudos to you. I so much appreciate it.
So, Ryan, it's really important which is a great question, right? We want the cigar store owner to believe in the product. It doesn't matter to us if he has 1 million stores, or he has the biggest store, or he has the best store. If he believes in the product and he wants the product to sell it and showcase it to his customer, that's a partnership between us and him that we will cherish and we will support, and we want our product to be there. It doesn't matter, again, if he has 10 stores or 15 stores. We're not looking at volume, we're not looking at numbers. What we're looking for is a relationship, right? So the first year we started with Viva La Vida, about 500 stores came and they approached us and they wanted the product. They tried it, they smoked it, this and that. And to acknowledge their support, we created the Club 500, the one that you're smoking right now, right? So those were the first cigar lounges that supported Artesano del Tobacco. So we created a size only dedicated to them. First year that it will be sold only at their shops, and then we started selling it in other cigar lounges. And that size was based on a criteria that we asked, what size, if you want a special size to be made dedicated to your store. And again, 75 to 80%, they were 6x60. So we created 6x60 box press for them. So the size was dictated by their recommendation. And another thing, we were the first year going to cigar lounges and smoking Viva La Vida. And there was a cigar shop in Pennsylvania, Wooden Indian. The manager was in love with Viva La Vida. And he came and he said, why you don't make a size and then you call it Jester? So we said, you know what, that's a great way, so we did. And it come to show you, we listen to people, we listen to our consumer, we listen to them because they believe in the product and they are the one who's selling the product. And so that's how the Jester was born, and the Club 500 was born.
Also, I think it's interesting how the cigar that I'm smoking, usually I'm all about smaller ring gauges and traditional vitolas, but this for 60, based on the box press primarily, and also the way it smokes very elegantly, it doesn't feel like a traditional 60 to me. So that's just interesting to experience it in that way, but a very enjoyable cigar overall. So kudos for that.
Thank you.
When you ended up with those initial 500 retailers and thinking about where to expand, where to grow, where to go towards, how do you think about the US market versus the international markets? Obviously, I guess for a US based company and brand, the home market is always the obvious choice because you have an incredible culture around cigars there, and I was fortunate to experience it yet again just over the last couple of weeks. And given the mechanics, it's also easier to work therein, because even though you might have different tax in various different states, you're essentially working with one market, whereas internationally you have to worry about different regulations. You need to work with different importers. Yet we see tremendous opportunity in the international markets. There's a void that needs to be filled. Most dominantly now because of the lack of Cuban cigars in the international markets. And I also think that's why at the trade show there were so many international people, distributors, looking for new opportunities and new brands to carry. How do you look at that, and is that something that you have been pursuing and that you want to enlarge in over the next couple of months or years?
Well, Reinhard, let me say something here. It's very important what you just, again, what you asked. You know, the U.S. market is one of the largest markets, as we all know. And the other markets also are very important. And our aim as a company, as a brand, we want our identity and our product to be in the hands of everybody on this planet. That is our aim. How soon, how strong, how it's all in our minds, and we think about it 24/7. We would love to see the product in Europe, in Asia. We'd love to see it in the Middle East, in Israel, everywhere. We want everyone who smokes cigars, all those consumers around the globe, to have the experience that we have ourselves. It's not easy, but we are working on it. It takes a lot of dedication and focus. And as you mentioned, I'm going to say something here. The complex part of the taxation and the regulations and the laws in every country is so different. So you have to tackle, and you have to learn, and you have to educate yourself in each and every part of the countries of the world, what to do and how to do it. Yes, definitely. To give you an answer, we are working on this. We would love to be in those international markets for sure.
Yeah, we're working on that. They're very important to us. This coming September, we're going to be in Germany, meeting with some
For Intertabac?
the Intertabac. Yes, we're going to be there, meeting with some brokers, and to see how can we bring El Pulpo and Viva to different, in Africa and Europe, Eastern Europe, all those countries. They're so important because consumer reach to us and they wanted to smoke those brands and try them. So all the markets are important to us. US is our home base, and Europe is going to be next in our books.
How do you feel about the cigar culture, though, in different places and on different continents? I'm sure you've experienced cigar lounges and retailers in the international markets as well. And some might argue that taste profiles and preferred profiles in cigars might vary from one country to another. And then the question becomes, do you try to cater to that, or do you rather focus on, this is the expression of our brand, this is the way we envision our cigars, and that's what we offer, and let's see whether it sticks or not?
We are so flexible ourselves. It's a market, it's a product, it's something that we love and cherish. And our aim when we go abroad, the States, to meet and educate ourselves in each and every culture, what do they have to offer? And we have to navigate and we have to blend ourselves with that culture. We are not going to go there and say, this is what we have, deal with it. No, we're going to go there and hopefully they will welcome us. And then we show them what we have. We will listen to what they have themselves and we try to navigate. This is our aim. This is how we do things.
Yes. So first, let's say now in Europe, right? Let's give this as an example. We will showcase our brands the way they are. And then after 6 months, a year, all the feedback will come in and say, we would love to have Viva this size or the shape or this color, and then we will work for that market with shapes and sizes, depending on what the market is been asking us for. So we are flexible, as Gus said, to do certain shapes and sizes for a different country in the future, if this is what it requires us to, you know, to make them happy about our brands and enjoy it.
I couldn't agree more. Just a quick add-on on that. We sometimes discuss on the show the different approaches that manufacturers might have, and there's certain people who focus on what they enjoy and what they would like to smoke, and then they somehow encapsulate that in their brand and in their cigars and offer it to the market, whereas others, and this is also what I'm hearing from you, are more flexible and more open to listen to the market and take inspiration from the customer's feedback, react on that, and then offer something that is tailored to a specific audience or a certain taste profile. How do you balance that though? Or where do you feel you have to stay true to what you enjoy in the first place, whilst also taking into consideration the feedback from the market?
Yes. So I will tell you how we work ourselves, right? So first, the name of the company is Artesano del Tobacco, which is the artisan of tobacco, right? We love art. We believe, it's not we believe, making cigars is art. Okay, it's the cheapest art that you could buy and enjoy, and not putting it on the wall or on your table. It's you enjoying it, right? We start designing an idea before we have a brand, before we have a blend, before we have the tobacco. So our next project, the designs are done, the labels, the boxes, everything is done. The name is out there. We already put the name, right? So we start toward the end, and then we work backwards toward the beginning. And because we believe art influence the tobacco, influence the blend, influence all the shapes that you're trying to make. And the same thing, a consumer influence you of what they're looking for. So we start literally from the consumer, and we work ourselves backwards to go to the blending table, to choosing the tobacco, right? So it is important to understand what the market is looking for. I don't make cigars for me. I don't make them for me to enjoy. It's so humbling, and you feel so grateful seeing a picture on Instagram, somebody opening his humidor in the house, and he has a Viva in it or Al Pulpo, and you go like, wow, man, this is amazing. Like, the guy went, bought that cigar, he loved it so much that he is showcasing it in his own personal humidor. We are so grateful for that. And he took the time to take a picture and show it and share it with everybody. If you don't understand that you need to appreciate that person so much, you shouldn't be in business. You are not doing him a favor. He's doing you a favor by buying your cigar, taking his time, showing it to everybody, and telling everybody about your cigar. We are really grateful for that, you know? And again, same thing. You make a cigar, it takes you 5 years to make it. It's like as if you're studying for an exam, and then when it comes to the market and people smoke it, they gave you the grade. So it is so nerve-wracking, is the least thing that you could say. It's so frightful when you bring a brand and a magazine review it for you, or a blogger or customer coming and saying, this is the best cigar I smoked. I mean, it's...
You see, let me add this one as well, Ryan. Like when we started, this particular industry, it did humble us so well when we first started, it was a shop, only 500 square feet. 500 square feet. This what was available, and that was the size. And what we did, we believed in ourselves, we believed in what we have, and we love the trade. I bring back everything that we're doing now to the experience and experiments and the the knowledge we got from those 27 plus years dealing with the public and educating ourselves through them. That was the university, the public, and we were the students.
Yeah.
We learned and we absorbed as much as possible from every person who walked into our shops. Everybody.
Because we enjoyed it.
Everybody. And it doesn't matter how big, how tiny, how small, how medium, large, whatever size is. We were embedded there. We had the ears, we had the eyes to educate ourselves. So if we consider ourselves successful now, it's what we learned from those people, and we dedicate all the time. We dedicate our knowledge, our success to them. Yes, we put the time. Yes, we put the effort. Yes, we put the blood, sweat, everything that you could imagine, 27 years. But also, I learned a great deal from the consumers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm completely with you. Mike had his hand up for a while, and I believe he had a question for you. So let's bring in Mike first, and then Macy is waiting for a bit of stage time here as well.
Yeah.
Well, my questions weren't really questions. It was some points, but you guys kind of answered that in your follow-ons speakings. But for me, what you were saying early in the show was about the smoking of cigars and what people like. I do like spicy cigars, and it's really hard to find, the particular brand that I would like to buy all the time. I know, for instance, that I like a Padron Anniversario, but I can't afford those on a normal basis. I get those once a year on my birthday. I buy a nice cigar for myself. So, staying in my price range of $20 or under, it's really difficult to find some really good ones. Although I have, the triple Maduros, in many cases, are really good spicy cigars. But I'm also one of those people who will smoke just about anything. I mean, I am smoking everything. Today was the Jaime,
Jaime
Garcia. Absolutely a very good cigar.
Great
I bought
cigar.
a box of them. I love those things.
They're full
Padron
spicy.
has always been good with. Yep.
Padron is
So
great. Great cigars. Yes.
I mean, that's the other thing too, is I don't have a good palate for distinction. I used to early in my days of smoking, and I've been smoking 40 plus years. So it's like, in the early days, I could almost have distinct flavors that I could discern. But today I just do not. I mean, I just enjoy the smoking of the cigars. And I find it very interesting and very intellectually learning what you guys are saying and how people actually get to have those capabilities, which then benefit me, because then I just listen to their advice and then I will try their cigars. So I've got you guys marked down. I'm going to try and see if my shop sells these cigars to try some of your own. So
thank you, Mike.
Absolutely brilliant.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful, Mikey. And I just want to let you know, every company have their own tobacco, their own cigars in the market. And from what you're telling us, you like full flavor, spicy, and you could find it also in Al Pulpo, our cigars. It is full, but yet it does not burn the tongue. It doesn't punish your palate because the tobacco is aged for a long, long time. So it is smooth, creamy. It has full flavor, but it does not punish your palate. So that's what we look for. Viva is more in the medium to full, while Al Pulpo is more fuller, but sweeter because of the San Andreas wrapper that it has, and it doesn't burn your tongue. It doesn't leave any aftertaste. It's smooth, creamy, and trust me when I tell you this in front of everybody. You smoke El Pulpo, and you finish it, you cannot wait to light another one. And
I will be looking for it.
Well,
okay,
Michael, I have to say this. I have to add this right now. You with us, for me right now, it is so humbling, and I do thank you in person for taking the time and being there with us, sharing what you like. To me, this is the ultimate. I do thank you for this, and I have to say, if my brother is talking about El Pulpo, we love this cigar not because it's ours. The truth, it's been proven now for only 4 months in the market. The repeat for purchasing this brand for El Pulpo in stores and also cigar owners, it is really, really impressive. I would love to hear from you again that you did try that you found them somewhere and you smoked them and you liked them. To me,
No,
that is
your feedback is more important to us. You
Yes.
ate them, you like them, and this is what we look for, honestly, you know. And
I'm all ears. I'm all ears, Michael. I want to know exactly what you think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Pleasure talking to you guys. Great show. Thank you
pleasure
so
is
much.
ours. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Macy, over to you.
See, it's dark. I feel like Jose Blanco in the dungeon here. I don't know if anyway, you can probably survive
You look
without
good.
the eye candy. First of
Hi, Macy.
all,
Oh, he's cutting off.
When you moved,
are
you
you
broke up.
over your hand?
Macy, can you repeat your question, please?
Am I back? Yes. Am I audible? Oh goodness.
You're
I
back
see.
now. You're good.
Okay, I'm gonna
Wi-Fi.
someone. Yeah, it says my internet connection's unstable. That's bad luck. It's like, first of all, yeah, greetings from Colombia. Sorry, that's probably one of the issues here. My question is a more general one about kind of third-party manufacturers. I'll just, and of course I mean this respectfully and all, but my general view is I tend to be skeptical of my cigar purchasing, or reluctant, maybe is a better word, to buy cigars from companies that either don't essentially own their factory, don't own fields, in some way process. I'm very reluctant to just buy a cigar where I feel a label slapped on it from a factory. Not saying you do that, but that's kind of my general reluctance. And I do think a lot of that gets done in the industry. I mean, I won't hide from that. But can you talk about what you do in your brand that you think adds value to the consumer or offers an experience to where you're not doing that, and where Artesano del Tobacco is really something unique as opposed to something, just produced, not just another third-party brand out there? Can you speak to that a little bit? Because I'm really curious about that point.
Sure. Macy, this is a great question. And we touched on those subjects earlier in the show, that we don't go to any manufacturer and tell them what brands, what blends do you have already, and I will slap a band on it or stickers. Or we come to manufacture with a comprehensive, detailed plan for the flavors, the blend, the shapes, the colors, and it's not only those details. We go into more what the market is looking for, and we know that the manufacturer already doesn't have that in his portfolio, nor he makes it to anybody else. So if you smoke, for example, Viva La Vida, it's gonna show, you're gonna see that it is totally different than any brands that AJ made. If you smoke El Pulpo, it's going to show you that it is totally different than any brands that AJ produced in the past or now. So it is unique, it is different, even though I think he makes about 20 or 30 different brands with San Andreas wrapper, including his, right? If you look at Viva, he produces maybe 10 or 15 different brands with Habano Oscuro wrapper. But the trick is, how can you do it differently? And I'm going to give you an example, which is in our portfolio to explain of how we are making a unique blends, unique flavors with manufacture that we don't own land, nor we don't own tobacco. If you look at Viva La Vida, you will see it has 6 sizes, 6 vitolas, and the classic ones, they are Robusto, Toro, 6x60, and those are, the blend is the same, the flavors is the same. Then we came and we did the Jester, which is the same blend, same wrapper, same filler, same binder, like the classic Viva La Vida, but we fermented the tobacco different, we aged it different to bring the oils out, to make it heavier, to make it spicier, and that's the Jester, right? Then we did the same thing with the Diadema Fina, and we did the same thing with the Club 500. We wanted with the Club 500 more Cubanesque, reddish hue wrapper that has, it reminded us with Cubans from the 80s, right? To us, Cubans in the 80s were like #1 in our flavors, and a lot of people who we smoke with, from our customers, they love Cubans during the 80s. It has certain flavor, right? So we try to create it Viva La Vida, Club 500 with those characteristics. So it comes to show you that, yes, we don't own factory, but our attention into details, from the art to the label, to the band, to the wrapper, to the blend, right? That we feel so proud that we are doing with a manufacturer such as AJ Fernandez.
AC, also, this is Gus here. I do thank you for this question. Your question stuck in my brain like the glue. It's very important. What you just said and asked, you have the utmost right. And you have to ask, why should I smoke a cigar that's coming from a factory that they don't own? What we ourselves represent, I'm talking about us as a brand, as a company, as a name, it's reputation. We started in retail. Our reputation is well known. We believe the only asset we have is our reputation. If you have a reputation where people trust you, that's very important. That's an asset that it's very hard. It's very hard to carry and to keep moving on. So to give you an answer, you know, when we started the relationship with AJ Fernandez and with his like brands and company, we did a huge study as well. If we move in from, after we sold the businesses from retail to this, we have to be situated in a place where people will also trust what we represent. This is when we decided to do this. Yes, there is no factories. Yes, there is no land. Yes, there is none of that stuff. But why to, if it's there and you have the ability to go and pick and choose the best of the best from one of the best that we just spoke about in the industry, of course, the relationship that we have is so strong that allows us to be there and go to the secret spots that we have. Not too many people are able to do that. I'm proud to say that. And then we could see the aged versus the newborn, and then the ability to pick, of course, that cost, and then we do this We pick and choose, and then the magic starts. I love the question, and I would love from you, Macy, to get the time to try the cigar and see if you like it. And please, we will be waiting for your also feedback.
I love it. My wife's giving me the hook. Sadly, I have to go to the Bogota Country Club. Tough life. Great answers. Thank you all, and to all, highlight of my week. And you will get my feedback. Be careful, sir. Best wishes.
Thank you. I'm waiting. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming.
Take care, Macy, and enjoy Colombia. It must be dream-free.
Enjoy Colombia, yes.
Brian, good to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining us, and chime in.
I didn't even raise my hand.
Well, I meant the other Brian, but always good to see you and have you join us as well. It was Brian Boss who had his hand up.
Oh, there's two Brians. Hey, there's so many Brians out there.
You got company finally.
Oh my God! Every other person is named Brian.
My name is Brian too.
Take it away,
Brian.
Well,
all the Brians.
I think Brian Boss doesn't have audio connected, but he wrote a few comments in the chat box here, and one of them was that he was honored to review the Viva La Vida, and he was grateful for the experience. But if I may, he put one of his questions there where he was curious about your thoughts on new brands putting out product at a very high price point of $20-$25 and above, and he was skeptical about whether or not the quality was always there. So maybe you can tie that in with some of your experiences from the trade show. I know there were quite many products launched with a very high price point, also from well-established manufacturers who so far have played more in the $10 to $15 or $10 to $20 price range. So what's your thoughts on that in general, in regards to what you saw at the trade show, some dynamics within the industry, and how brands react to what's happening in the market?
Yeah, this is a great question from Brian. Thank you so much, Brian Boz, for your review for Viva La Vida and for your feedback and your support. Regarding your question about pricing, I'm not gonna go and comment on other people's work and their business models, but I could tell you from our own experience, we truly select. We don't look at any price in the beginning. When we go on, we select tobacco. We want the best wrapper, we want the best binder, we want the best filler. And as you know, it's gonna cost you more money to buy a very well-aged wrapper, filler, or binder than a not so aged tobacco, right? So this is where it comes to play with us. First, we blend it, we like it, this is the cigar we want. Second step comes in, is it affordable? What is affordable in the market right now, right? So you come and you study all the expenses, from boxes to bands to stickers and vistas and cellophane and S-chip and all the expenses that comes with it, and this what's going to dictate your price to begin with. We are not looking to get rich overnight. Again, our journey in tobacco, we've been enjoying it for a long, long time, and we want to continue enjoying it. It's not about money. It is all about creating friendship, creating a good experience and good experience for the consumer enjoying the cigars.
Yes, and our aim, guys, is not to have a sticker with a dollar sign on it or the pound or whatever. You do not rate a cigar by how expensive it is. I'll give you a very short thing that over the years we learned. Clients come into the humidor and they ask you, give me the most expensive cigar. There were cigars for $100, $200. I always ask, why you want to give me $200 for something that you never experienced? There is a reason why this is $200. You might smoke it. I'll take your money, but I refuse. You might smoke it and you're not going to like it. How long you've been smoking? So all those questions back and forth for that guy to realize that was the wrong thing to do. So he ended up buying an $8 cigar, $10 cigar, and I gained that guy for life. It's not about the money, the price tag on a cigar that makes it better. No. When we blend a cigar, we want to have something special and unique when the consumer have that cigar in their hand to enjoy it. Every puff, I'm going to talk about El Pulpo now that I'm smoking, and I'm so proud. Every puff from the beginning to end, and I could smoke it all the way down to the knob. You know, the cigar is not boring. It starts to change the flavors. Every puff that you have, the aroma, the taste, it have hints of espresso, coffee, dark chocolate, and it turns out to be very, very sweet from this band all the way to the end, because the St. Andreas wrapper that's aged for that long, it turned out to be so sweet, like a dry, sweet fig. You know, those dry figs, when you start to eat them, the taste, the flavors, this is exactly what I had in my hand. We did this not because I'm looking for $100 or $50, whatever. No, if that comes after, that's a different story. But the idea is to have something special, unique, and perfect for the consumers to smoke it, and then they decide.
Yeah, so basically the price has to be also manageable, or the consumer could afford. So we don't put a huge tag on it. It's so important knowing that your cigars. So our cigars, for example, they sell from 1050 to 17, right? It's this range, and you have consumer who could afford it and consumer who can't. But our price was dictated by the tobacco, how expensive it is, and also what comes with it from boxing and aging and fermenting and all these elements that comes to it. And I agree with Brian. It's sometimes prices are ridiculous, you know, but that's a business model for that certain company that they are trying to achieve, and sometimes they're successful and sometimes they are not. And the people who make them successful or not is the consumer. So we want people to focus on the cigar, not on the price. We want them to focus on the blend, not on the price. And again, it's a journey that we are enjoying with everybody, and we're not looking to get rich overnight. Thank you, Brian.
Great points. Back to Los Angeles, Brian. I think you probably had a follow-up question there.
Other Brian. I thought of one. I thought of a question. I'm actually out in the world today at a lounge for once instead of in my yard. This place opens at 11, so that was convenient for me.
We're missing the lawnmower, Brian, but it's good to see location. You know,
we don't have lawnmowers.
First Napa, and now here we are.
Exactly. We might have some traffic or something though. So I try to fit in some psychological questions. People fascinate me. So you're saying a lot about how you really are interested in consumers and their opinions and their profiles and feedback, and you probably, I assume, you welcome negative feedback of all sorts. But I'm wondering so that's great. You're open-minded, but at the same time I wonder when you're taking in all this information, there must be a certain amount of stuff you're hearing from a general cigar smoker out there in the world that you kind of just have to throw it at. Smile and nod. There are some people maybe who want to talk like they know more than they do, or have maybe very strange opinions that you're not necessarily going to take to heart. So maybe you could confirm if that's true. And then I'm always wondering, if each of you has a story about like, what's the craziest thing you've heard? Like, what's the just weirdest interaction?
That's a really nice question, Brian. we got a lot of different requests from different clients, but usually all their feedback, all their review about cigars, good or bad, comes in extremely respectful, right? And you have those few guys that they want stuff for free, you know, like they want you to send them cigars to review, and they want their humidors to be filled with your cigars
And we do.
for their review and for their blessing, basically. And it comes to a point where it's like, I don't want to feed your habits. If you can't afford it, you shouldn't be there, right? So those are the funniest things that comes to us, is like, I would love to promote you and write reviews about you, but supply me with cigars.
Yeah,
No,
basically.
thank you so much. We don't want that.
Basically, that's it about that. But in general, Brian, thank you again for being here with us and taking the time to do that. We respect that. We enjoy this. The majority of the times, there is a huge understanding and respect between us and our crowd, and we feel very welcomed and respected. We have something that we created over the years. Reputation is very important, and that's, for us, this is the most important thing. You cannot buy reputation with money. You have to earn it, and you earn it 1 minute at a time. You have to build this, and it take you years and years, and it will take one mistake to destroy the whole palace on top of your head by one mistake. And maybe that mistake is not meant, but this is the truth. So we believe in ourselves that we have created a form of respect with our clients. So,
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much. You know who's a notorious cigar smoocher is Jose Blanco. He's going to ask you for some free cigars. Cheers.
Jose Blanco.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Jose earned his spot there, So
Yeah, self-proclaimed cigar smoocher. Yeah.
Smoocher, yeah.
Moocher, yeah.
most elegant
Mucho,
moocher
mucho.
out there.
Mucho,
Jose.
Yeah.
Well,
There is a lot of them, man.
blessings and best wishes to Jose from all of us. He's not
Yes,
here
for
with us
sure.
this week, but I hope to have him back next week. But I'm sure he sends his regards and his blessings to you, gentlemen, as well.
Send it to him as well from our end. Yeah.
Gus, Billy, one thing that I'm curious about, you mentioned art repeatedly, and just this weekend I had a wonderful conversation over a cigar with George Brightman, and also with Mike from Cigarettes of America, and we were talking about holistic design, packaging, the entire experience. And the way you described it, the way I understand it, is that you start with an idea and with a concept first, and then you build around this. You start to think about how the blend could tie in with that. And with all due respect to the industry as a whole, it sometimes feels like the design and the name and the holistic nature of the experience is a bit of an afterthought, or you start with the cigar first, and then you probably come up with a nice packaging to go with it. But I sometimes miss a more cohesive or holistic approach where you feel it all ties together, and you think about the experience, you think about the design, and then you kind of make the cigar amalgamate with that and come together.
Exactly.
And you have that confluence and that holistic experience. How do you work on that, or how do you factor in the surrounding elements, the ring, the box design, in order to create the cohesive and holistic experience that's even more understandable to the consumer and gives them an even more important or meaningful experience when enjoying the cigar?
Correct. This is a great question, Reinhard. Basically, we start with the design, as we talked about, the art. It could be a line, it could be a color, it could be a shape that we are trying to work on. And for example, I give you an example so everybody could understand what we're talking about. There is a brand that we are working on. It's called Ojo Corojo, right? The design is done. Art, the stickers, the bands, everything. Then we send those images with our blend, what we're looking for, what type of wrapper, binder, filler, the shapes, the sizes, the colors. That shape, that color, that image will influence AJ or anybody who's designing Ojo Corojo. Okay, it could be any company, right? That it's gonna have influence on them of how we're gonna come to the point that the cigar blend will work very well with the art of this brand. Same thing we did with Viva La Vida. We sent the artwork to AJ. It was hand sketch design of the jester, literally. Okay, and it was his ex-partner at that time, and Chris. I don't know if you know him. He died now. Rest in peace. Right. So we sent him designs of the band and the jester and all these stuff. And then we worked on the design, the blend. We worked on the flavors. We worked on shapes. We worked on totally different segments of the cigar. That's why we say that we start in the end and we work ourselves backwards toward the beginning of where it starts, right? Because we believe art influence the tobacco, influence the blend, influence the cigar maker. AJ saw El Pulpo design 5 years ago. He saw the sticker, he saw how it looks, right? So we worked on that. It's a tool for him to hold on when he start creating that blend for El Pulpo. Same thing with the Viva La Vida. There was an image that he was focusing on to work toward that flavor that we were looking for. So it's important to understand what your final point is and then work it backwards. And then once you know that, those elements, you will see, oh, there is a problem here, let's fix it. Then you go back, then again and again, instead of finishing it and then realizing there is a problem in the design, there is a problem in the blend, in the flavor, right? So we work backwards.
See, Reinhard, like I have to say, you have a way of asking a question, which is always the right question. And I'm enjoying every bit of it, seriously. And to give you an answer, we're trying to be unique. We're trying to be different. We're trying to be outside the box where everybody is doing something. We're trying to do something, but in a different format. And for the last two that we did, we believed in what we were doing, and also at the same time we learned all those lessons from previous being as retailers. And then you see all those like big names, they come with the brands and great brands and everything. So we learned from them, we learned from mistakes, we learned from success, and we took the good and we eliminated the bad. And this is how we end up having the mold done. So we doing things in a reverse to see if it worked. So far, this is what we have. And we planning to continue until something will happen. But this is what we have. So your questions are always, this is I'm telling you, the best questions and the right questions is always the right thing. I'm enjoying every bit of it.
So this is the other thing. I mean, if you look at our Instagram or Facebook or whatever, right? The names El Pulpo or Ojo Corojo, it's been out there. We did not hide it from the consumer. Other companies, they come and they surprise people with a brand blend the artwork, and it's there, right? It's their philosophy, it's their model. But I put it out there, we put it out there, so people remember the name, people see it, people see how long it takes to produce a brand. And this is a good way to explain it to Macy also, that Ojo Corojo, it's been in the works for a long time. Al Pulpo, it's been in the works for 5 years, X amount of years, right? And people saw the name long time ago. From 2018, they saw the name. And it was registered, it was, it takes time, right? So they feel, consumer feel that they know the name, they saw the name, but now they cannot wait to try it. They cannot wait to smoke it and see, I waited all this time. Is it worth it, right? So we involve consumer by sharing those names with them. We involve consumer by some lucky people, they receive the pre-release. And some like stores, they've been with us for a long time. We send them pre-release to smoke and give us their opinion, right? So we really value what people think about our cigars, respectfully to what they smoke, to what they like, and we are not saying we are perfect, but we are trying to achieve a really perfect blends with a good manufacturer. So, yeah.
And I'm gonna add this too as well. Like in maybe 10 years already between Viva and El Pulpo. People who love the product that we have, and also people in the industry, they say, you could do this. You could have more blends. You could have, by now, 10 years, 6 or 7. Our aim is not by how many. We're going to come out with something that it will leave an effect on the consumer. That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
Is when A, B, and C grab that cigar, they're gonna smoke it, they're gonna say,
proud of it.
wow, this is very good. And how about this? Like when we released this one 5 years later, and people were waiting. When you meet those guys, they tell you, you know what, guys, it was worth worth the wait. We thought at one point it's not gonna come.
Yeah.
But we waited that long, and you guys surprised us with this blend. So for us, this is also a reward. You're getting the rewards from those guys who I believe in. We believe in them. They are the one who put you where you have to go, where your aim is. So we dedicate every bit of success to the streets, to the clients, to the consumers, not to what we have.
This is another thing, Reinhard, and you could share this with everybody, that when we back in November, when Cigar Journal sent a press release about Al Pulpo saying coming in couple of months, like in December, right? But the cigars didn't come in December. So at that time, AJ called us and he said, if I were you guys, I wait few more months. There is certain notes that I need you to, I need it to come visible more, right? So we told them, AJ, Cigar Journal, Cigar Aficionado, everybody, we did the press release that the cigar is coming in couple of, in the end of the month or whatever. And he goes, trust me, you need to wait. So we waited, right? And then the cigars was delayed again. And then it came in April. April was the month that we came out, right? So again, it come to show the dedication that AJ Fernandez team has on producing cigars that we are making with them. It come to show that also it's not about only selling, it is caring about the product that the consumer will go buy and grab and smoke. It delayed us 6 months from the time we wanted to release it, but it was worth it to us. We smoked and we realized, yes, it needed that extra month or couple of months to bring those notes that we were looking for. It was a hidden note that we shared with AJ that we are looking for, and waiting a couple of months, it brought it out more in the palate than if we brought it back in December.
And I think that's wonderful, and a beautiful example of how sometimes, taking a step back and letting time work its magic is the right thing to do, and not only about the economical aspect in the first place, but to do what's right for the product and for the enjoyment of the consumer. And I also love the fact of how you let people be part of that journey. And I think that's such an important thing to share with the world as well, that, sometimes you have to take your time, but at the same time, you take the consumers and the retailers with you on that journey as to how things evolve. And at that one day, that one moment when you then release the product to the market, not only is it spot on, but also you have given everybody an opportunity to participate in that evolution and to learn and understand the mechanics of what's actually behind it. And then you, as you beautifully said, you get that reward of the feedback from the consumer when they ultimately enjoy the product.
Beautifully put, man.
100%.
Brian Boss,
Yes.
is here now. Brian,
Hey.
Can hear me. Oh, there you
Yeah.
are. Great to see
I
you.
can hear you.
Hi, Brian.
Good to
Hey.
have you with us.
Billy and Gus, man, thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, Brian. Yes.
Oh,
Thank you,
cool.
Brian.
Thank you for coming.
Cool. Hey, I wanted to thank Reinhard. First off, he brings people on, manufacturers on, and blenders that are unsurpassed in the industry. So Reinhard, thank you so much for bringing these people in, that they lift up the industry and not drag it down. And I want to thank Billy and Gus and your family, because you, like Gus was saying, you put the blood, sweat, and tears into this stuff. And you actually go there and you listen to people. And Gus was saying it's your clients. And we are your clients. And I want you to know that we appreciate that you listen to us, because a lot of people don't. And the way that you handle business and your art, I really like that you put the art out first and then you make something to match that. Do you personally, you and Gus, Billy and Gus, do you get involved in the art yourself? And what's your thoughts behind the art to then put the cigar to it?
Brian, first of all, I want to thank you for coming to this show and give us the opportunity to talk to you and meet you as well. I would love in very near future to meet you in person if it's possible, and we could sit and smoke the cigar with you as well. Thank you so much for your trust in us, and also the words that we said. It did have an effect, and I believe that. I do thank you so much from our heart.
You're
And
welcome.
our business, thank you. Our business is all about art as well. The art in it is so obvious. From the El Pulpo band to the Viva La Vida, we are involved in this 100%.
Yeah.
We are involved in this art business 100%. There is a reason why we chose the El Pulpo, the octopus. In a very fast sentence, I'm going to add this. I'm going to say, when we were working toward like blending El Pulpo, we were thinking about an idea where when a consumer or a cigar enthusiast, a cigar smoker, grab this cigar, I want them to grab to this stick the way the El Pulpo or the octopus grab to its prey. That was the whole idea. So when you smoke this cigar, you enjoy it so much. Each and every puff have a taste, have a meaning, have an aroma that you don't want to drop it until you smoke it all the way to the end. That's the idea behind this art, which is the octopus and the cigar in your hand.
Yeah, octopuses
Brian.
are picky about what they eat. So the products that you put out, octopuses just won't grab anything. They grab what appeals to them, what they know tastes good, right? They don't eat just anything. So the fact that you do that, you put the consumer out there and your clients. Thank God for that, because your brand means something, and we appreciate that.
Thank you,
Brian.
thank you, Brian. This is we love to hear your feedback always on our product and how can we make it better. And again, we are involved with the art from day one. When it comes to any brand that we're producing, we sketch it, we send it to graphic designers, and we work together on it. The same thing, we sketch our brands, blends, and we work with cigar manufacturers and makers, cigar makers, the same thing. So they're both to us art, right? So the idea with Viva la Vida is we're telling people enjoy life, enjoy the moment. Most of the time we are stuck with certain problems, right? And we thought, what was an element when we were kids that made us happy? You know, and it stuck in our mind was, you know, like going to festivals and stuff like that. You see a jester throwing balls, and maybe he's the saddest inside, but
That's
he
true.
put that face smile to make you happy, right? He make balloons and whatever. So we used him as an image for Viva la Vida. With the octopus, as Gus said, we want the consumer to hold on to that cigar, don't let go. Same thing, the octopus, as you know, he doesn't have bones in his body, right? So you put him in any shape and form, he becomes that shape. He becomes that form. If you put him in a box, he becomes that box. If you put him in a circle, he becomes circle, right? So we want a blend that works with different people palette the same way the octopus fits in different shapes. So that was the idea of where the octopus came from and where the jester and came for the Viva la Vida. So all of them, they have certain elements that we try to envision. So that's why we start with art and we work backwards to create the blend. And then the consumer sees the process from knowing the name to seeing the art, then the final product.
And that's why you're a success. You don't look at it like normal people. You know, you put a lot of thought into this. You know, we've talked before, and you're smart. You know, you think about these things and how is it going to react to different palates, and for the average guy and woman, you know. So I just can't thank you enough, and God bless you. And I'll stop taking up your time. I look forward to trying some more of your cigars, and I hope to God, you know, I pray that we will be able to meet. I'm in West Virginia now, as you can see, up in the Appalachians, my brother. But I'll try to make it.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. Definitely, Brian. Those words are really, really great for us. And then, you know, as I said earlier, and I keep saying this for the last 27 or 30 years, our success is because of people like you, Brian, and people who enjoy our product. They smoke it, they support us, they believe in us. So to me, this is everything. This is everything. You know, being a retailer from day one, I learned a huge deal of knowledge and understanding how to do things to cater to the public.
Yes. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you, Brian.
Brian, thank you so much for chiming in and for the wonderful words. This is exactly why we host this show every week, to give people the opportunity to learn and understand what's behind those mystical products and what's the philosophy of the people who make them. And that's wonderful. And to share that with people like yourself, with connoisseurs, with enthusiasts, people who love this mystical product, that's what this is all about. And thus, many thanks to you, Brian, to everybody joining, to everybody watching, and Bill and Gus, of course, to you for sharing all of this with us.
Thank you.
Before we go, I have one final question, and it's a bit of an outlook and a thought for the future as well. But you put so much thought into how to make your product better, how to take the industry further, and you've seen the cigar industry from different angles and through different lenses. What do you think that we all as an industry can do better, whether it's on the manufacturers and brand owners side, from a retailer standpoint, media, but also from the consumer? What can we all do to bring the industry further and to make it even more worthwhile for people to enjoy a great cigar?
Great question.
What makes, yeah, again, amazing questions from Reinhard. What makes our industry special? First, we have to understand that it is a unique industry. There is no industry in the whole world like it. Cigar smokers, they call themselves brother of the leaf and sister of the leaf. There is no other industry they call themselves brothers and sisters like the tobacco industry. It's a small industry. We are really blessed and honored to be part of it. We feel that it is important to help each other all the time, to be stronger, to be to make it better, is to help each other and to produce brands and that they are always unique, and challenge yourself to put stuff out to the consumer that they feel refreshed and they feel grateful, or they feel proud to have in their hand. And same thing with cigar stores, is to understand that service is key success to any cigar store. Same thing with manufacture, producing the best tobacco, and cigar companies to produce the best tobacco in the industry. So this small community could enjoy tobacco for years to come.
Exactly. And our aim as well is to simplify the process and the experience for everyone. You know, with every bit of law, taxation,
Billy, Gus, sorry, I think we just lost you for a second. The audio went away. You were just muted for a second.
Can you hear me now?
We're back. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, like I was saying, guys, earlier, you know, the idea, our aim is to simplify the process and to make it an experience that's easy. The way we go and grab a stick from a humidor, from any cigar store, sit and light, how easy that thing is. The process to make a cigar is so hard.
Yeah.
Now it's becoming harder for the consumers. Regulations in states and also in other countries. The taxation process is so huge. We're trying to find ways we could actually tackle all those things. Hopefully we could reach to an agreement with all manufacturers and cigar owners, brand owners, to go and talk about this problem that we have in every country, in every state. It's becoming nonsense. So the idea is to simplify the method where consumers will find it easier for them to go and enjoy a cigar. You cannot walk on the street and smoke a cigar. People start looking at you. You can do anything else, smoke anything you want. When it comes to this, all of a sudden you're the bad one. So you know exactly, guys, what I'm talking about. So we're trying to find ways we could help. That's our aim.
Yeah.
Very important and beautifully said, indeed. And I love the fact how you mentioned not only the simplification and the involvement of the consumer, but also the help and support that we all need to provide for each other. And again, coming back to what we discussed in the very beginning, the sheer fact that you started in retail and the way you approached it, where you clearly understood it's not about you, but it's about the people walking into the humidor and spending their hard-earned money on something that will give them pleasure and joy is crucial, because at the end we're all a big family, and we're all united by the love and appreciation for a wonderful handmade premium cigar. And to share that with the world is so important, and to help each other and support each other, because only then we can elevate and we can lift the industry as a whole and make this even more enjoyable for everybody involved. So many thanks for those beautiful words, and for everything that you bring to the table, for your efforts, your honesty, and your passion, because it's greatly appreciated, and it gives me great privilege and joy and pleasure to share that with our people and with everybody here tonight, and hopefully for everybody who watches the show later on. So many thanks.
Great, Reinhard, thank you so much. It was so like great for us to have you. We would love to thank you and thank the panel and thank everyone who's watching, who's like with us now. It humbled us more by having you guys and listening to each and every one of you. We do thank you from our hearts. Thank you so much. And hopefully we could meet in person, hopefully.
Yes, and for me, guys,
we'll make it happen, and hopefully in Dortmund latest. I'll see you at the Intertabak, and we'll make sure to sit down and enjoy and share a cigar together.
God willing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Gus and
Reinhard,
Billy,
and
a pleasure.
everybody. Thank you, guys. Thank you,
It was a
Mike.
great
Thank you,
pleasure.
everybody who came in and spent their afternoon here with us, listening to our stories. And thank you to everybody. And we cannot wait to meet you in person. Until then, God bless. Stay safe and well, guys.
God
Thank
bless
you so
you.
much. Light them up. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll
Light them up.
Take good care.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Light
Reinhard,
them up.
Thank you, Reinhard. Thank you.
Take care.
Reinhard, can you hear me?